Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis. This is Ascendant Challenge number 5. This is when the Taken Curse is at its weakest, so this is Curse Week level 1 of 3. This one is going to be located in the Bay of Drowning Wishes, which is literally right behind the landing zone. I'm going to cover the run-through normally, show you guys where things are at on the way, so the timestamps will be kind of sporadic as I actually come across each egg and piece of lore. And then we're going to cover a couple time trial tips and things like that. Different classes are easier than others. I'll discuss those as I go through. If you guys do want to know the location, it's in the Bay of Drowning Wishes. I'm going to clear that lost sector, at least most of it, and then show you guys where the portal is at. And then, if you guys just want to jump ahead to the Ascendant Challenge itself, go ahead and use the timestamps on screen. But once you load in, just turn right around, jump behind you, and of course the Lost Sector Cave is right here. This is of course the one with a bunch of scorn, so if you ever do have a bounty where you need to kill a bunch of scorn, this is probably the quickest place to do it. You land in right here, turn around quickly, and then you've just got a bunch of scorn in here. Usually you have to kill like 60 or 70 or some crazy number, and you can find just about that many in here, because there's a lot of Screeb, the little explodey ones, those will add up pretty quick for you. So once you're in the Bay of Drowning Wishes, you're going to have these ads in here, Screeb on the ground, couple ads, and of course, as usual, you're going to have 3 abominations. Those are the main things that you want to focus on killing quickly. Once those are down, just watch out for the ads as they spawn. Again, the abominations, kind of your main focus as you're clearing this thing out. Watch out for the Screeb. They, of course, are going to try and explode you, which I've died that way many times. But they usually run around in packs, so if you can kill them in groups, makes life a little bit easier. But that explosion will help a little bit. Couple Screeb dying. Of course, I'm standing on all the little slowy balls, because that's the efficient way to do this. Biggest thing, if you're looking to clear this thing out and you're having some issues with it, just try and go vertical. It's the best thing I can tell you. So find a rock that you can climb up on, get some height, even if you need to hide up in this tree. Only thing if you get up in the tree that you need to look for is the raider, who's either up there on the cliff or has fallen down. And then once you have just these normal ads, you can clear these out from up here. Not too bad. Use the Screeb for actual ad clearing. Kind of helps a little bit too. Use a grenade, anything else, and you guys can see the portal's kind of right around that corner. I'm just going to kind of clear up these final ads real fast. Couple Screeb spawn in. They're usually probably below my feet. You don't have to clear everything, by the way, but if you just want a free run when you come back in here so there's nothing trying to kill you, I usually try and kill this, especially if you're going for, you know, a time trial run and you're trying to do multiple times. I definitely would clear this out just for the sake of having an easier run of the time trial spawns, so there's not a question of what's going on there. That's most of the ads. The Screebs are just kind of wandering up, jumping up. So I said try and stand on something, get yourself a little bit of verticality here so you don't have all these guys exploding right on you. And when the door goes down, you're pretty much good to go. Alright. Now you don't have to clear out the rest of the Lost Sector. If you got a bounty to do it, you may as well. But here is the portal. So in the Bay of Drowning Wishes, once you are facing the entrance door, just turn to the right. It's usually just kind of tucked behind this giant rock structure here. And we're going to go inside and I'm going to explain everything as we go. So, into the Ascendant Realm. And we're inside. Now, basically what we're trying to do is go from this top little structure all the way down there. Now, there are tips, certain supers and melees. For the Titan, it is the basically the Thunderstrike class, the melee that does that basically 45-degree slam. You can kind of learn to time it right. If you line yourself up, jump straight off, and kind of wait about 7-ish seconds, you can get that angle just about right that you can slam all the way down. That's kind of a good way to do it with the Titan for the time trial. For the Hunter, similar thing. Go Pole Dancer, Arc Strider, whatever you want to call it. And again, jump down, and it may take you a couple tries to figure it out. But the idea is you pop that super, and then you basically slam all the way down. Now, if you're going for the time trial and you have to use the super, that's one that can take you a little longer in between, so that's just going to be trial and error. But I'll try and get a guide up for at least showing you guys what that's like. The Titan, I can show you guys pretty quick. The Hunter, maybe as well. I'll see if I can tack those on the end. But for the Warlock, it's a little different. That will take a bit more time. Once you guys are in here, I'm going to work my way around and point everything out. So the first egg is actually fairly close by. So when you pop through the portal, you're going to be on this first platform, and from here, just jump across to this one right here, and you're pretty much going to follow this glowing ball the entire way down. Now, this is actually not Toland. This is the little guide. You'll notice it moves. But once you're over here, what you're going to do is turn right around. You'll notice the egg is right up here at the top. So this is egg number 1, and again, it's at those first couple platforms at the top. So don't travel down at all, just to the side and around, and it's on the back of that rock. Now you'll notice the little light is going to guide you all the way down, so we'll head down to the next one. And again, this is not the speed run by any stretch of the imagination. That time trial will be different. Work our way down a little bit. You guys will notice little glowing pieces sometimes will be guiding your way towards your next area. But the little ball of light, if you're going to follow the direct path, is pretty much going to show you the entire way down, which is nice. There's certain platforms that will be rotating and such, so it is just a little easier as you go through. So you guys can see Toland is actually up there. He's actually where the lore piece is as well. And when you see this structure, this kind of design template on the ground, you'll notice that it's at a pretty steep angle, but you can still land it. So make sure you get some height, jump across, kind of float over. I'm on my Warlock. All classes can get here. It's not going to look like I can stand on it, and it's really steep, but somehow my boots of greatness will work. So Toland is up here. Go ahead and catch him real fast.
According to the wish of the dragon.
Now, the other piece is the lore bones will be right over here in this area. So they will be right up here in this area. I already picked them up previously, but they are right there by that tree, so definitely look out for those. So the lore bones, again, if you need a refresher, once you get to this structure here, where it's got this design kind of tile template, you're going to run up here. Toland can be in multiple places, but the lore bones are right tucked around this tree. You guys should see them on the ground somewhere up in this region up here. I know they're up here. That's where I got them. Just been a while. So that is the lore bones. Come back down to the edge. Creep down here a little slower so you kind of know where you're going. And you don't go flying off the edge. And you guys can see the second egg coming up right up there. Jump onto the donut. It is a big circle in the middle, but you've got a donut hole, so don't jump in the middle. And egg number 2. So for egg number 2, you had the tile structure up there with the tree. Jump down onto the donut. And the egg is right here on top of this big statue head. So that is going to be egg number 2, right in that location. Now, easiest place usually for me to land, I mean, if you're going for the egg, you can shoot it. For me, I'll usually land right here on the big glowing orb. Makes it nice and simple. Now, this is kind of like a little ramp that's going to shoot you down here. Just be careful as you land on it, because you actually will gain some speed, and if you just slide down and then land right here, it like gives you way too much momentum, and it kind of smashes you in and kills you right there, which is always a little bit annoying. Now, once you get to this point, you'll notice we have rotating rocks. Now, these get to be interesting because you got to time your jumps to make sure you have something to land on. Now, if you land on a weird side, sometimes you'll still be able to catch an edge, but it's easier if you're not going for a time trial to wait for these things to be somewhat flat. But usually these will be in pairs, so if one is fairly flat and ready, the other one's going to be pretty close. So try and make the 2 pairs fairly quick. Look for that next rock, and this one is going to be stationary. Stationary. Word that can be said in multiple ways. Notice coming up, we've got this one rotating. You've got the one, and use the lightning flashes in the background kind of as your guide. So that one's going to be rotating as well. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 coming up. I think it's just 2 again. So wait till you feel comfortable. If you think you can jump on the backside, cool. If you want to wait for the bigger flat side, that is up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and jump, not to waste too much time for you guys. Give me something to land on here. And again, looks like I'll have kind of a flat edge. This is rotating, but I got to wait just a little bit. Try not to wait too long so you don't get kicked off. But if you got to float above it, give it a little while to rotate so you got to get another something to land on. And finally here. Sometimes you'll catch a platform at a weird angle as well, like this one. When you land on it, try and land and be running up it. That'll help you kind of catch your footing. Once you get to about here, we're going to jump on our final donut. Just float on over, glide over, hop over. And before you jump down, the final egg is sitting on top of the roof right up here. Now, surprisingly, we've made a long travel all the way down from the top. Somewhere way up high, which I can't even see anymore because you're too far down. But the idea is if you're going for the time trial, you actually go from the very top platform and you pretty much can fly all the way down and you'll smash into the roof, the ground, something like that. But you can survive it because you're doing like an ability. But make sure you get this egg. This will be number 3 on top of the roof from the donut, the final donut. And then when you jump down, you're going to have this little, Toland light ball to guide you. Tap those real quick because they're going to be light balls that spawn and you're going to have 2 wizards you need to take out. Kill those as quick as possible. I'm going to use my super, Thunderlord, anything you've got for power because Shadow Thralls start spawning and then Phalanx that want to blast you off the edge. It's not the biggest platform, and if a Phalanx doesn't kill you with the smash, it may be just enough to knock you off the edge, and then you've made it all the way down and yet died, and you have to do it again. So speed on the wizards is key. So if you don't have your super up, you did a time trial down, something like that, and if you're having some struggles, something like that, If you do that super down, make sure you got a very powerful heavy weapon. Sleeper, you can 3-shot the wizards. If you're high enough light level, usually about 550, 560 is where you're going to want to be. And then Thunderlord's really helpful. Icolo shotgun. Whatever you've got, just remember you just want to do this very quickly. So we're going to go ahead and touch down after all of that fun discussion. Show you guys how that works. As soon as you touch the ground, you're going to start getting a whole bunch of stuff to spawn. The wizards will kind of spawn on the other side of the tree. So it's going to say Tolan beckons you, trying to run to his dot. Little floating orb over here. Catch him, the corruption will spread. And you're looking for the wizards, which are going to be right here. And I'm just going to go Chaos Reach on this one, which is probably going to make this a little too easy. Come on. And then if not totally dead, go quick on Thunderlord. And we're done. So that's the idea. And then once you kill the wizards, you should get the time trial boost. But then make sure you pick up the chest. That will get you your bounty done. Bounty should be finished. So that's always good. Got another tincture. And then your portal will be right behind you. Now, to show you guys the time trials, I'm going to skip ahead. But you guys know the lore bones are by that tree. We've got the egg at the top, the egg on the statue, and the egg on the roof of this structure. And you can't shoot it from here. It's not an option. You got to shoot it before you actually come down here. So let's go back, and we're going to cover the time trials from the top platform. Alright, Guardians, so we are back on top of the Agonarch Abyss. And you'll notice you can look over this edge. So you usually spawn in facing this direction. You have this rock structure, you have the little light that's going to guide you down. If you turn about 90 degrees to your left, and then don't get to the edge, you can fall off. But if you creep over, you're going to see the main structure that we're going for. Now, for the Titan and the Hunter, as I was telling you guys, you can do the jump and either the melee with the Thunderstrike subclass, or just do that 45-degree little melee super slam. And then for the Hunter, if you go Arc Strider, you'll have to fall a certain way and then do your slam, like your kind of ground slam. Again, another thing, traveling at about 45 degrees, and it's just going to take some kind of guessing and judging to figure out where you have to fall from. Fall from. For the Warlock, you've got the hardest one. Now, there are ways you can do like a super and float across and kind of give yourself some options. That is a decent way to do it. The one I was trying to do, and the super is probably going to give you more options as well. So if you're doing something like Dawnblade and you go up here on the actual Dawnblade subclass, not the Well of Radiance, that doesn't really benefit you for flying. But you can actually use your sword to kind of fly through the air a little bit and give yourself a little bit of options for extra floating. But the main idea is, like, what you're going to try and do is get down to this little chain of rocks and skip a decent amount of the run. And you're still going to have to keep going quickly, but the idea is when you get to the bottom, when you hit the rocks, then you've basically cut out most of the fall already. And that's what I accidentally did the first time. I finished this in a previous video. I probably showed that to you guys. I basically fell on accident, caught myself on a random rock down below, and then because I landed it and somehow survived, I was able to keep jumping, clear out the end, and that counted for the time trial. So you don't just have to do like the super from the top to the bottom. You can go like, you know, this halfway fall that I'm going to try and show you guys and still get the time trial done. Again, I wish I had an exact time saying, you know, do this time trial in 1 minute and 47 seconds. They don't give you a time. Never getting numbers in here is a little bit annoying. But if you're trying to figure it out, just take a little bit of practice and then just try and find that gauge. Me, like, use the lightning flashes as kind of a guide. Sometimes they're more frequent than others. And apparently they just don't want to happen that often at the moment because I'm looking down there. But yeah, you're trying to look for this little chain of rocks and try and land on that one. Or, yeah, just one of those couple right there are your real options. So I'm going to try and land it on this one. Not the easiest thing to do, but maybe a couple takes. I'm going to try and show you guys how to get most of the way down, see if we can shorten this thing up. So here we go. Alright, Guardians, so my first attempt did not work. And again, this one takes, like, it's the easiest to redo on the Warlock because you're not waiting on an ability or anything. And if you miss with the melee on the Titan, it's actually pretty easy too. The Hunter's probably the most annoying because you are waiting on a super to respawn. So that's kind of a frustrating piece. But, again, try and find something that gives you a little flexibility. If you're on a Titan, there's not really a lot that's going to give you, you know, changing of speed or floating abilities or anything like that. So you pretty much are kind of in the tough spot of it. But again, look for a rock that you can try and find and line up to. I think these rotate, and then I think, yeah, that one rotates. That one I think is fairly static. I'm trying to watch in the flashes and see. Yep. All right, Guardians, but yeah, try and find a rock. If you want to count backwards from what we were doing before, you can go donut, and then you can say that, you know, the two before it rotated, this one was static, and then the two before it rotated, and then this one was static. So, I mean, you have a couple that were static that you know you can get to. It's really just where you think you can go. I'm going to try and line up and go to this one right here in the middle, see if I can make it work. So, we're going to see what happens. And again, I swear as soon as you start falling, the lightning goes away, but if you can try and line your cursor up, maybe float out a little bit, try and catch again. Keep falling forward, try and keep your cursor on where you're trying to go. This is probably going to be close. And there we go. That's what you want to do as a Warlock. And then from here, you just got to keep moving and really trying to rush ahead to where you're trying to get to. Now, you're not going to have optimal landing situations, depending on how these are rotated, but you should be able to land on something pretty quick, so just be careful with it. Always keep moving, work your way down, and same principle as before. You just got to keep moving quick. But that is one way to land it as a Warlock. The Titan and the Hunter, I will show you guys next. But the idea is all you're going to do is come down here real fast. Get everything to spawn. And I did this before, basically the first time I accidentally did it. So you'll have plenty of time to do it this way. Go find the little Toland orbs. Get everything to spawn. Find the orb out here in the back. Sometimes it's a little bit farther. As soon as you do, you'll get everything to spawn in. Usually on the back side of the tree is where you're going to find the wizards. When you do, just a grenade. And then at this point, try and find the wizards themselves. So, should be able to find them over here. And then again, this is where, again, watch the ground. It is corrupted, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'm doing this a little on the slow side, but still doing all right. Second wizard over here. Again, Thunderlord's going to be really powerful. Watch the ground as well. Reload if you need. You could probably do this part a little quicker with the better super or something like that. But that should pretty much do it. Then grab your chest as quick as you can, and that should pretty much satisfy your requirements for your time trial. Now, I'm going to go over to my Titan, show you guys basically a similar situation for both, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Alright, Guardians, so if you're on your Titan, what you're looking to do is land on the top platform, find the edge, and we're going to try and figure out the timing. So, run, jump, kind of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hit your melee on Thunderstrike, and then we just have to hope we're lined up about right. Feels pretty good. Just trying to hit the platform, hopefully not over, under, but just about that long for timing. Then if you land on the top, you're pretty much good to go. You can even hit the egg right here. Land it quick. Come on down. And then as soon as you touch the ground here, just try and get this thing started. So go find the Toland orbs right here. Hit this one, and then everything should spawn in. Try and find your wizards as they spawn, usually somewhere kind of towards the back. And I'm going to try and Thunderstrike both of them. Hit some rockets on them. Pretty powerful rockets here. And then just see what you can do to try and end them. But that's the idea for getting to the ground. I don't have the best build for, you know, finishing them off per se. But that is pretty much what you want to do. Hunter will be very similar. I'll show you guys again on the way how to get down there. So again, Thunderlord, Sleeper is probably going to be better than the Rocket. It's just literally what I have on this character. But once again, jump on in. And again, you just need to do this quick. So you're going to come in here, turn, look to the edge, find your target. I got to wait till I actually have my melee up. Give it a few seconds. But same thing. It's about 7 seconds or so. So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hit that slam and just start trying to go down. And then if you actually can get on your view, feels like you seem to be headed right towards it, you should be in pretty good shape. So that's the way to do it on Titan. Hunter is going to be very similar, just in a super, and that's going to be your Arc Strider form. So same thing down here. Go ahead and open it up, and then we'll try and finish this thing up. A little slower method so you guys can see, if you're not going for the time trial, how to do this one and just deal with the ads. So on something like this, you just got to go find these little orbs. Now if you do need a safe place to stand, And you gotta kill these sometimes to be able to find a place to stand. Again, if those help you be able to have a little flexibility in movement, jump up in this tree so the melee ground stuff isn't killing you, and then you can work on the adds from above. So that's a nice way to take those guys out pretty quick. See if I can get a quick reload. Same principle here. And try not to sit still too long, because you are going to get all those little shots coming at you. And again, as the shield is almost down on this one, we'll try and finish it up. But this is why not being on the ground is a good thing. Those little shadow thralls can't get you when you're not on the ground. See if I can get this one down. Now, this is where getting booped off could definitely be a bad thing. So that's one. And give me a second. Gather my health up a little bit. And again, if you're not going for a time trial, this is one way that you can definitely do it. Hang out in this tree. If you got a healing rift, something like that's going to work pretty well. Try and get the shield down and then just work the wizard down. Find some way to give yourself cover. There's a couple trees around. They're all going to do okay. When these guys start spawning, you got to watch out for the phalanx. They will try and blast you up out of these trees. So watch for the phalanx. Those, I say, are probably the worst thing for this. And then if I can find where Mr. Wizard went with a rocket, this will be nice and quick. Sit still for a second. And that is a wrap. So, wizards are down, chest will spawn, and you are good to go. Ta-da! There you go. Hunter will be very similar, so just, figure out which way works best for you. If you've got multiple classes, you guys have seen all the ones that kind of work, and I hope this guide definitely helps you guys out. So that is, one more time, Agonarch Abyss. You've got the lore bones kind of halfway through on that one tiled area by the tree. The egg at the top, the egg on top of the statue, and the egg on top of this final building. And that is a wrap. So hopefully this one gives you guys everything you need to knock your Ascendant challenge, triumphs, and everything out this week. And I will see you guys in a future video. Have a good one.